Hello and welcome to day 73 of the 1000 days of no code challenge. In the previous video, we saw how do we use Bubble's search tool to search for element type, events type, action type, reusable element, users field, and users element. In today's video, let's look further as to how do we use the search tool from Bubble for other use cases. In the last video, we saw how do we search for element types, event type, action type, reusable element, users element, and users field. We will check how do we use users API. Now, when we select this, it will ask us what is the API provider that we want to search for. And if you see, we have got two options available. You can select them and click on search. Now, let me show you something. We'll go to the plugins and the API connector, right? And you can see that we have so many of them. So why is it showing us just two? Because if we expand each of these, then we can see that this is set as data, which is what is being shown here. Test random joke. Random joke here has been set as action. And that's why it is not being shown, because that can be searched using action type. So if you go here and search for random joke, you will get this test random joke action. This particular API call can be searched using the action type. But if you want API as an data, then you have to use this users API, and then you can select any of the APIs which are set as data and then search for it. So this one we had set, but we have not used it anyway. Right? We set this to test creating user from the backend. Moving on, we go to user style. Now, style name, you will get the styles of all the elements that we have in our application. Okay, the ones which are available over here. So this way you can understand what are the elements with a particular style across the application. So if I go with primary button and click on search, we have got like 33 items. Same thing if I go with outline button, then we have nothing because everything is linked to primary. You can search for anything, right? So group border, let's search. Nothing. Standard group, maybe. Yeah. So we have 57 items with standard group as the style name for group element. Moving on. Users data source. Now, what is a data source? Let's quickly understand that. If we go to the admin page and we have this repeating group, right? And if we go to the appearance, okay, the data source is where is the data coming from, right? So if we go to the data source, then we have the data source as current user, current page thing, do a search for, get an option, and so on and so forth, right? Now, whenever we add a repeating group, the data source has ideally been do a search for, and then we will tell users or tweets, or then we say users or tweets or projects or anything of that sort. So do a search for is a data source method, right? Current user is also a data source method. So if we go to current user, if we select current user and click on search, you can see all the places where we have used current user. So let's click on this to see how we have used it. Here it is current user's email. Here we have used the current user here, right? So you can check where all you have used current user as a data source across the application. If we use do a search for, click on search, you can see that this has been used at 35 places. So let's go to this one, right? This is a data source. Do a search for users. Let's see this particular one, right? Again, we have done a do a search for bookmark tweets, right? So this is how you can use users data source as search by filter. Let's move on. Users operator. When you select this option, it will ask you what is the type. Okay, now you can choose between the option set, the data types, basic types, plugin types, and so on and so forth. Let's go with logo. It'll ask you what is the operator that you're looking at, right? So if you have chosen option set, then it will give you the attributes like have you used display or image or any of the conditions like is not, is empty, and so on and so forth. So let me select image for now. Click on search. You'll get to see two places where this has been used, right? So this is number 1. This is number 2. Now if I select this as data types and user, it will ask what is the operator that you're looking at, right? So it will give us the fields that we have in the user data table, or we can also use operators. So for example, let me select is. I'll click on search, right? So we have used this in the privacy rule. So when I click on this one, it will take us to the privacy rule. Okay, and here we have used this user is current user. Now is the operator that we've used, and that's precisely why it is giving us this result. Let's move on. Users option. Now this is where you can use the option set search. Okay, again let me go to logo, and it is asking us which is the option that you're looking at within the option set that you have chosen. Now if I click on square and click on search, then it will give us one result, which is basically here. And if I make this as rectangular and search, then it is over here, right? Likewise, I can go to weekdays and then I can select Monday, click on search. It gives us 0 result because Monday alone we have not used anywhere. But if I go to all options and click on search, it is being shown in 3 places. One is this one, the next one is this one here, the next one is the drop down. This is how you can use users option. The last one is has constraint. It asks you what is the constraint type that you're looking for, and we can select contains list, doesn't contains list, equals to, is not equals to, greater than equal to, and so on and so forth. We have a lot of constraint that we can use. So let me search for this particular one because I know that we have used it at multiple places. So let's click on search. You can see that we have used it in this particular text, right? We are searching for the number of registrations that has happened on a particular day, right? Likewise, we have also used it over here where we were doing the same thing. So this way you can use as constraint. Okay, let me quickly search for this one because as we saw, this was also present. Okay, and again, it will give us exact result where that has been used. So Bubble's search tool for developer is very, very powerful. And wherever you want to know where we have been using certain things, you can use this to directly get to the point where you have used it and do the necessary changes. And there you go. We have covered how to use Bubble search tool for all the use cases that's available. I hope with this, searching on Bubble is as easy as a few clicks. Share this video with somebody who doesn't know how to search within Bubble using Bubble tool. And I will see you in the next one.